right, so we are actually live on our Facebook page. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cannabis Nurses of Color. I hope that you guys are doing well. Happy 2021. We are having a meet and greet today with our lovely and amazing advisors that have, taken the time to join us and help guide and assist us in formalizing the work and efforts of Cannabis Nurses of Color. As you all know, the cannabis nursing industry is very new, and while many may feel like they don't have a seat at the table, we are literally building the table as we go because there's so much that hasn't been developed, that hasn't been, just hasn't been available to us. There are many nurses I know that are interested in learning more about cannabis nursing. Please continue to follow us here on Cannabis Nurses of Color. We also have a group. If you type hashtag CNOC, you will find the Cannabis Nurses of Color Facebook group where we do more of our education and connection, and we have more of those conversations that are very important for Black and Brown nurses. I have the honor and the privilege of having these wonderful ladies on with me today. And so I'm going to take a minute to first introduce myself. My name is Sandra Gwines. I am the Cush nurse. I am a nurse who works, majority of my patients are moms and families and veterans. I live in the San Diego area, and cannabis was something that came to me as a patient. I suffer with postpartum depression, and it took me down this path of learning more. And there were no nurses that looked like me when I started to venture into this realm. So this group and this organization is being formed because there is a need for us to have representation, for us to have tough topics and tough conversations, because we know that as Black and Brown nurses, we can't just go and talk to our mothers and fathers about cannabis. We can't talk to our aunties and uncles about cannabis. And this is the community that needs it the most. We are riddled with chronic health illness. We are suffering the most from inequities. And then let's not even put in there the number of Black and Brown people that are incarcerated in jail for minor drug offenses related to cannabis. So today, I'm just super happy to be here. I am the co-founder of Cannabis Nurses of Color, along with Ivory Rosenthal Davis, and I'm going to let her say a little introduction before we bring in our advisory crew.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ivory Davis. I hate that my phone is coming up. But anyway, I am a registered nurse in Louisiana. By day, I am a workers' comp nurse case manager, and workers' comp is pretty much what led me into the cannabis space. So I have a profound interest on bringing cannabis as medicine to patients who may not think that it is a form of therapy that's available to them. So I'm very passionate about that. As Sandra said, I am one of the co-founders, and I am glad to be a part of this organization and to bring nurses, particularly nurses of color, into the realm to help destigmatize this plant and bring its much needed therapeutic benefits to our community. So welcome. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we did was find a good mix of nurses to bring into the organization that could help us not only to propel our mission and our vision, but that had the lived experience of what it's like to be a Black and Brown nurse in this industry. And they can really hone in on not only what the issues are of being a cannabis nurse, but also what the issues are within our very own communities. So we have a very nice mix of nurses on here, and I'm super excited to have the lived experience of what it's like to have them all talk today and kind of share why they're here, a little bit about themselves, and so that you guys can see, where we are as an organization. And then at the end, we're gonna just give a few little nuggets about what we're gonna be doing in 2021. So I am actually going to give the floor over to Miss Ashley. Ashley Wynn Grimes is one of our amazing cannabis nurse advisors. And if you could introduce yourself, let us know a little bit about yourself and, you know, what has been your experience as a cannabis nurse?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Ashley. My husband is what brought me into the cannabis space. He has been self-medicating as long as I've known him with chronic back pain. So between the research and him, I think I'm pretty well rounded in what the experience is, and then also dealing with patients in my community. But I've been in this area for about 2 years. Cannabis industry for about 2 years, and I also have an extensive nursing background. 12 years, and it doesn't really take the traditional path. So my nursing degree is in nursing education. And I worked as a performance improvement nurse. I've worked in quality. I've worked as a clinical instructor, and I'm taking all of that skill set and trying to apply that into what the cannabis industry, or what nursing can be in the cannabis industry. I'm trying to help facilitate those seats in my area. I built a CEU course to teach new nurses about cannabis, and I recently wrote a children's book. So I guess I have to claim the title of author, which I'm really struggling with these days.
No.
Yeah.
That's something you got to claim, girl. That's amazing. Good. I'm just so excited for you. You've had an amazing year so far. So excited to see your book. Now, what's the name of your book?
It's called Asa's Medicine, and it's about a little boy named Asa who does take medical cannabis. And even though pediatrics is not my thing, I did spend time building guidelines around the cannabis program in our schools, which is what sparked my interest in wanting to develop this, because there is a lot of conversation that needs to be had. And, you know, it's just another segue for somebody to bully another child. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I'm passionate about the plant. I'm passionate about empowering nurses. I'm passionate about just Black and Brown empowerment in general. And just the overall self-development is something that is a side effect of all of this, just personally just growing and stepping into who I am and what I see value to, and just knowing what my purpose is. So that's me.
Well, we appreciate your voice. We definitely appreciate your vision. And I'm just excited to have you here. You've been part of the CNOC for a while, and you've just been a great contributor of information and resources and support. So thank you for being on our team. I can't wait to do some wonderful work with you this year. I am going to send it over to Miss Jean. Hi, Jean. Hold on, unmute yourself. Let's see, there you go.
Hello, how are you? My name is Jean Duffy. I live in Delaware. My goal in the cannabis industry is to provide cannabis education, to provide cannabis education, to explain the medical benefits, of the magnificent benefits of cannabis, and to help remove the stigma.
Very good. Now, Jean, where in Delaware are you?
And I live in Milton, Delaware.
Is that near Wilmington?
It's about an hour from Wilmington.
Okay. So I know in that area, because it's close to like Philadelphia and all these other places. This is my co-host. I know since there's, other states near you that have access. I don't know, what is the access like in Delaware right now? Do you guys have medical, and what do you have available?
Medical only.
Legal
for medical use only.
Wow. Okay. Because I know Philadelphia, like you guys are like right in that little like bubble where people go to like Jersey, Philly, Delaware area. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens now with New Jersey and their legalization. Right. Yeah. Very cool. Well,
and Jean, you are LPN, is that correct?
That is correct. Licensed practical nurse.
So I wanted to just mention that because we get a lot of nurses, a lot of times that ask, can they be in this space? And we say, absolutely, you can be in this space. There is room for everyone. All nurses are treated the same. And so you can be an LPN in this space. There's absolutely room for you. So I just wanted to highlight that. And I think Jean will be a wonderful accent to our advisory committee to help other nurses or other LPNs navigate throughout this space.
Absolutely.
That's a very good point, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because it is something that gets asked often. So if you guys don't have access to, y'all know I always flash this thing, but if you don't have access to the nursing guidelines for medical marijuana patients, it's always a great resource because it tells you at every level of nursing what your responsibilities are for working with cannabis patients. And it also has guidelines in there for education as far as like what nursing schools and programs should have available in a way of education. So I'm hoping that as we make it down this road here and develop these tables and build these tables, that we're also going to get to a place where, you know, it's going to be normalized and we're going to see this in curriculums and nursing students are going to know how to handle cannabis patients. And, you know, and no one will have to feel that their choice of medicine is something that they should be afraid of. So I'm super excited to see how we blend all of this wonderful knowledge base. Very cool. I am going to bring Miss Claire Washington, who is, Claire, where are you? Pennsylvania, right?
I'm here. Yes, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello?
So, yes, I can hear you, Claire. So can
Okay,
you
sorry about that.
introduce yourself, Claire, and let us know a little bit about yourself? I know you're in Philadelphia. I mean, we know everything about you, but we'd like them to know about you as well. So
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Claire Washington. I'm a nurse practitioner. I've been a nurse practitioner for 34 years. And the last 5 years have been palliative medicine. I've been throughout, my career has included running health centers. I opened the first nurse managed health center at University of Pennsylvania. I've run a couple of student health centers, and I ended up tripping into palliative medicine and have been loving it. And I actually thought this was going to be my final job in palliative medicine, but because of reduction in force, I was notified that I'm being laid off. So that afforded me the wonderful opportunity now. I mean, God is so good. You have no idea. Because now it opens the opportunity for me to spend 100% now on working with combining my palliative medicine with cannabis. It's definitely a clap. It's definitely a clap.
Yes.
So I'm so excited about this new venture, about this new year, because now I can spend more time learning. I can spend more time volunteering and mentor and getting mentored, and you know, eventually and I applied for my first position as an NP in a cannabis dispensary.
I love it.
So I'm not sure if I'll get it. I don't, you know, I'm not ready to go back to work yet because I have a severance. But anyway, you know, so I'm on sabbatical. I'm on sabbatical for the next 5 months. And
that is awesome. I'm so happy that you lost your job.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. That's my father said, congratulations. And it works out well because I'm in the process of having a house built and I'm gonna be moving, and it's just dropping in. I'm just very thankful. It's just dropping in at the right time. So yeah, I'm extremely excited. I was sharing with a nurse practitioner friend of mine who's been NP like 40 years, and I was sharing with her about how about CNOC and how we went and walked into this conference a year and a month ago, and we had never seen so many NPs in our life, so many sisters of color in a conference. And we all had the like mind of going around introducing ourselves to one another, exchanging numbers with one another, putting together a gathering where we had 20, I think it was 22 or 24 MPs together after not the gathering that you guys put together, but we ended up having dinner together. Yeah. We had dinner together. So there's been this constant love and connection and sister brotherhood with this group since day one. And so we continue to learn from one another, grow from one another, and continue to help uplift one another. And that's what I'm so thankful about and happy to be a part of this.
Yes, and Claire, we want to thank you because you were so pivotal on those first few days, just trying to get us all, you know, together and helping Ivory and I kind of wrangle the troops. And I mean, I wouldn't even, I mean, I was looking at 2020 and I told Ivory, I said, we had plans and visions for 2020. And obviously some of those didn't come to fruition, but at the same time, we grew so much and we were able to share so much information and just encourage so many nurses to, you know, to stay with it and keep moving forward in this cannabis industry. So thank you so much, Claire, for that. And I can't wait to see what happens in 2021.
Definitely,
Let me say
definitely.
this, that sent me down memory lane a little bit, because I think Claire, and I think we have a picture of that too. Like when I saw, it was like we looked at each other. It's almost like, and I never had this real life experience, but I imagine this is what it would happen like if I did. It was like when I looked at Claire, I was like, okay, it's on and pop. Like I just didn't know what it was. And for y'all that were at the conference, if you remember my phone, something crazy went on with my phone, and Claire was just working the room. It was just, we're here. We're Cannabis Nurses
right.
of Color, and it feels awesome. And our net we keep expanding, and that's what I just love about it. So I'm happy for you, Claire, and your new journey. And this is gonna be your year. I can feel that.
It will be my year, most definitely.
So I'm not gonna say last because she's not last, she's first. Okay, Shonda is first. Okay, because Shonda is the epitome of what, like the essence of this organization. Like she stepped up with her testimony on the first day we met her in December of 2018. Gosh, 2019. What year is this?
2019.
Thank you. Okay. But I'm gonna let Shonda kind of share about herself, because I feel like she shared this morning and I had like tears in my eyes, because literally I remember hearing her testimony the first time, hearing her story. At the time it was a story. It didn't feel like a testimony because she was going through these dark places. And then just to see her this year kind of flourish and be in a place where she can discuss what has happened and has, you know, kind of just pivoted within this cannabis industry. So Shonda, thank you for being on an advisory committee. And
Oh my, I am honored to be on an advisory board. Look, I'm gonna put my camera on, y'all. Look, I've been trying to run it around and everything, so I'm not looking my Sunday best. Y'all see my background? Look at that.
Look at you.
Nice background.
It's okay.
So,
this is the coronavirus life. We in our, you know, everybody's at home right now. We have a lot of grace. Don't you worry about it.
So hi everyone. My name is Shonda. I am here in Louisiana. I am honored, and I will not get emotional. I always tell y'all that, but I am honored to even be considered to be on the advisory board. You know, as I've shared my story so many times in within the last couple of weeks, really, and I never thought I would. You know, to just be in this moment, it all seems so serendipitous to me. You know, I feel like I'm walking in a dream. But I was a nurse who I lost my license due to cannabis. It's 3 years now. This happened in 2017. I failed the pre-employment screening. And, you know, from there, I had to make a decision whether I wanted to have my license suspended. And I didn't like the stipulations that came with it, because I felt like it made me seem like a drug addict. You know, not to criticize people who have addiction issues, but I mean, cannabis is not the same as heroin. Like, let's just be real here. But the guidelines follow the same. So I didn't believe in, you know, having to be monitored to give medication. And, you know, I loved being a home health nurse. So I had to sacrifice that because I couldn't be a home health nurse anymore. So, I mean, just to be in this moment, y'all, I feel like it's a dream. But I'm grateful for where it brought me, because, you know, now I'm a holistic wellness practitioner. My holistic center is Coram Deo Holistic Center. I do cannabis CBD consults all through Zoom, as well as in person with just educating the community, because education is really, really important to me. So just getting people, especially communities of Black and Brown people, comfortable with even talking about cannabis. You know, a lot of people don't realize, but Louisiana has one of the largest private prison systems in the world. And majority of those incarcerated are nonviolent drug offenders, usually due to cannabis. And we all know the history behind this plant. So, I mean, I'm not going to go that deep into it, but just knowing the history and knowing those statistics, you know, you can understand that the people within the community, their hesitation to even want to try cannabis or CBD, you know. So that's so important to me, just trying to remove that stigma out of the community and get them more open to taking cannabis as medicine. And one more thing, y'all, because I just want to celebrate myself. My holistic center got chosen to do a clinical trial with 24 patients on CBD. So the doctor of the lab actually contacted me. We had been going back and forth for a couple of months, and the spot opened up, and she gave me 12 additional spots because she said she just believed in my vision and my love of the plant, and you know, she loved everything I was doing. So that's what's going on.
Congratulations, that's amazing.
Thank
Congrats, Sandra. You're working that lane, a lane where, you know, some of us would have, you know, I know you have your hard days and hard moments, but you're working and you're excelling in a uncomfortable position, and that just shows the star that you are. That's awesome, girl. Congratulations.
Thank you. And just I want you to know, I wouldn't be here without CNOC. You know, I want to really stress the importance of that. You know, when you have a group, and I know people tend to get offended because it says Cannabis Nurses of Color. This is not about exclusion at all. It's about inclusion, but it's also about having a safe space where, you know, that women of color understand the struggle a little bit different. So it's not to offend anybody or for people to take offense, because I know y'all dealt with that a little bit last year with people being offended, but you know, it felt good that I was in a space that I could open up to y'all about this, because you know, that was my fear. What will my peers think? You know, nurses of color, we know the struggle of school and also dealing with biases while we're working and while we're in school. We all have a story, you know, and it just feels good to have an organization that we can do that and have the understanding of how important the issues that affect our people are, along with this growing industry. I mean, it's great, yes, to want to make money in cannabis is booming, people becoming millionaires, but at the same time, we have to still respect why we even here in the first place. Social justice is so important. And I love, like, Iris, she got me driven with social justice. At first it was like, you know, important, but Ivory, just how she breaks down everything, she makes you really see the importance of it. So, I mean, we are blessed to have Ivory, y'all. We really, really are, because she really stays on top of those laws. And so y'all just make sure y'all need to be following her on her social media pages and her YouTube as well, because you know, it's nice to see the beautiful side of the industry, but we still need to acknowledge that dark side of it as well as we progress, because none of us are free until all of us are free. So I just wanted to say that.
Amen. And if you want to follow Ivory, she's at Nurse Ivory on YouTube. She does break down the politics and the policies of cannabis. And, you know, it's just something that she does just an excellent job of. You know, you want somebody with a fine-tooth comb reading these things. I don't know the joy and excitement that it brings for Ivory, but I'm so grateful for that, so that she can, you know, bring it back to me and present it in a digestible way. You know, Ivory is my policy and politics in my pocket, you know. I definitely am.
We like to say, what's our cliche? That Sandra likes to touch the plant and I like to touch the policy. And really, to be honest, since we're speaking about that, it's important as nurses. Our role, policy is our ish, okay? So just because we're in a new lane with cannabis, we still gonna bring in the funk with policy and put that policy in people's life, and that's when you go into the attention, because it's our industry, the ones who not at the table. And I go on and on about that, but yeah, I like to inject the policy, because I like to say that we got into this mess from politics, and through politics, we're gonna get out of this war on drugs. So we can't run from it. I don't like to read those long, boring, disturbing pieces of legislation, but I understand that that's what a power is. And if we haven't determined nothing else through this season, I haven't always been like a policy person. I've been forced into that realm, because I understand that politics is what drives policy. And if we understand that we got into this mess through politics, it just makes it all cohesive. We can want and we can dream and we can, oh, we want this plant all we want. But guess what? It's going to be politics that get us out of it. So that's why I follow it. And that's why I try to encourage. And I just get all excited when I see other people following politics of it, because I think that's the key piece. So thank y'all.
So I think one of the key things that I want to share, one is thank you to each of our advisors. We are going to be doing some magnificent work. Some of the things that we've been working on as an organization, even though we are still in the formation stages, is we wanted to create a database where we could highlight who are the Black and Brown cannabis nurses. So we have started that. We have a good idea from the nurses that we have in our group now, what the needs are, what the educational levels are, what areas of the industry they're in. And that honestly is the goal, because now everything that we put out, we can really craft and curate for the nurses that are in our group that need very specific content. And so it's been exciting. And I will tell you that Ivory is definitely the driver of these polls and, getting this data. And that has just been it's been a game changer, because when people come and want to speak with our group or want to understand how they can help our group, now we can really present to them the demographic of who our group is and what our needs are. So going forward in this year, we have some exciting things coming down the pike. We did have one other advisor who's not on here, which is Swan Mcrae. She's not on here today, but hopefully we can get her to pop in later on in the group. She has been pivotal. She does a lot of community-oriented work and hospice work, and she is a gem when it comes to research and studies. So I'm really excited to have her talk a little bit more about her background. But with that said, this is a powerhouse of advisors. We are excited for 2021, as we are going to be creating a membership model for Cannabis Nurses of Color. So please, look out for that as we roll things out. If you have suggestions, we are open to suggestions. We're open to hearing your needs and your wants and your desires for this community as we move forward. We have a ton of people who are allies who want to work with us. We are in the collaboration phases with Cannabis Nurses Network and also with several other organizations that are looking at us as, a key place where they can infuse us with knowledge and support. So we are excited to be positioned for all these things in the coming year. One of the things that I wanted to mention also is that we are going to be taking this discussion over to Clubhouse. If anybody's over there, you can follow Nurse Ivory or at the Kush Nurse. And then if you guys have your handles and want to share them, they can. You guys can go ahead and say those.
At the Holistic Gypsy, that's DAHOLISTIC, Gypsy, GYPSY.
The DA Holistic Gypsy.
At Canna Nursing, CANNANURSING.
Right, at Canna Nursing, Jean. At Jean Duffy, and then Claire. I think we may have lost Claire. Let me see. I'll find Claire's and I'll share it. So with that said, Ivory, do you have any closing comments before we hop over?
Only thing I want to say is we're saving the date for right now, guys, and we are planning to go to San Diego, and September of 2021. So mark your calendars. It will be somewhere around the Labor Day weekend. So we're going to flesh out those dates. But right now we're saving the date, and we're going to work it around our partners. And Sandra, I don't know if you want to touch on that for a minute with CNN. We'll work it around, and we're going to try to have a retreat or something of that nature. So for right now, I know it's hard to say the date for something that you don't know you're saving for, but right now, say the date, September 2021 for a CNOC retreat.
So I don't have the dates for CNN off the top of my head, but I know that they are planning again for their conference next year. They're usually in the first weekend, like around Labor Day weekend. So we were trying to position ourselves either on the front end or the back end of that, since it would be an opportunity for you guys to come and get education and also, you know, be able to, you know, connect and rejuvenate and refresh, and hopefully travel is open and the world is renewed, because Lord knows we need it. So I'm really excited about that. So more information forthcoming on that. And then I think after our next advisory meeting, we're going to be presenting our first initiative for 2021. I'm not going to say anything about that at this point because I think we still need to flesh out what we're doing. But, you know, we are an advocacy organization as well. So we want to make sure that we are doing our work and our effort and using our voice and power to move the needle forward with nurses and the cannabis industry as a whole. So we do have some campaign initiatives that we're considering for 2021 to advocate for nurses and in this industry, Black and brown nurses and nurses as patients, and, you know, just all the different issues that are out there right now that, you know, are very specific to Black and brown nurses, but also industry wide as well. And so I think we'll get a good amount of support to back us up in these initiatives. So I think with that, I'm going to close this out. If anyone has anything else they'd like to add, I'm just so excited you guys were able to take the time to kind of say hello to everyone. I was trying to see if there were any questions or anything in the comments, but I didn't see anything yet. I
didn't see anything.
Okay, very good. So again, we're gonna hop over to Clubhouse, and we're basically hopping over there because we want to reach, you know, a broader network of nurses and let them know what we're doing and give them an opportunity to meet our the illustrious advisory team. And so I will see you guys over in the Clubhouse.
Awesome. Welcome
All right,
on board, ladies.
Happy to be here, y'all. I love y'all so much.
Love you.
Love you too.
Same.
Thank you for